A brand new Range Rover costs more than the house my parents bought in 1994. And last week, one got towed into my shop on a flatbed with 9,000 miles on the odometer. 9,000. Air suspension fault, infotainment black screen, and a check engine light for good measure. The owner paid over $120,000 for that experience. Meanwhile, parked 3 spots away was a customer's 12-year-old luxury SUV with 210,000 miles that has needed nothing but fluids and brakes its entire life. After 22 years of turning wrenches, I'm going to show you 5 ultra-luxury SUVs you can buy for a fraction of Range Rover money that will embarrass it in the only category that actually matters: owning the thing. I'm counting these down, and number 1 is the SUV I would spend my own money on tomorrow morning without hesitation. Let's get into it. Number 5, Infiniti QX80. Number 5 is a full-size luxury SUV with a hand-built feeling cabin, a V8 that mechanics genuinely respect, and depreciation so violent it should come with a warning label. When these were new, they stickered anywhere from the low $70,000 range to over $90,000 when loaded. Today you can find 2017 and 2018 examples with reasonable miles in the mid-$20,000 range. That is Honda Pilot money for a truck that rides on the same bones as the Nissan Patrol, a vehicle they literally use to cross deserts in the Middle East because it refuses to die. Here's the mechanical story, because this is what matters. The 5.6-liter VK56 VDV8 in the QX80 is old school in the best possible way. No turbochargers to cook themselves, no cylinder deactivation gimmicks, a conventional 7-speed automatic that shifts a little lazily and lasts basically forever. This engine architecture has been refined since the early 2000s, and in my shop, the QX80 models that come in are almost always in for maintenance, not repair. I had a customer 2 years ago, a contractor who tows a work trailer and hauls a family of 6. He was cross-shopping a new loaded Tahoe at around $75,000. I showed him a 2018 QX80 with 61,000 miles for $29,000. Full maintenance records, 1 owner. He drives it daily, tows with it monthly, and his total repair bill in 2 years has been 1 battery and a set of brake pads. What to check before you buy one? First, the timing chain area. Some earlier VK56 engines had issues with timing chain guides, mostly on the older QX56. Listen for a rattle on cold start. Silence means you're good. Second, the hydraulic body motion control system on higher trims. It works well, but if a previous owner ignored fluid service, budget for it. Third, tires. These wear 22-inch rubber on many trims, and a set isn't cheap, so use worn tires as a negotiating chip. The honest downside? The styling divides people. The fuel economy is what you'd expect from a 5,900-pound V8 truck, and the tech feels a generation old. But if you want genuine luxury barge comfort with Nissan truck durability, nothing this side of a Lexus touches it for the money. By the way, guys, before we continue, we've created a complete library that walks you through inspecting, negotiating, buying, moshing, and maintaining your next used car. Check it out using the link below. Number 4, Lincoln Navigator 2018 and newer. Number 4 is the SUV that made me stop making Lincoln jokes. When the 4th generation Navigator launched in 2018, the original MSRP ran from $72,555 all the way up to $94,205 for the black label. Today, the average selling price of a 2018 Navigator is around $27,000, with clean examples listed from about $22,000. Read that again. A truck that cost Range Rover money new, now selling for used Camry money, and owners rate it 4.86 out of 5 stars. Under the hood is the 3.5-liter twin turbocharged V6, making 450 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. Now, I've been hard on EcoBoost engines before, and I stand by that for the early ones. But this second-generation 3.5 in the Navigator got port and direct injection combined, which largely solved the carbon buildup problem, plus updated turbos and improved cooling. Paired with the 10-speed automatic, this powertrain has proven itself in millions of F-150s. Parts are everywhere. Any competent shop can work on it. Try saying that about a Range Rover's supercharged V8, where the front-end service alone requires removing half the truck. The interior is the real party trick. 30-way adjustable front seats on upper trims. A cabin so quiet at highway speed you can hear your passengers breathing. Genuine wood, real metal, and a third-row adults actually fit in. I put a retired couple into a 2019 Reserve last year for $31,000. Their previous vehicle was a German luxury SUV that averaged $2,400 a year in repairs after the warranty ended. 18 months into the Lincoln, they've spent $340. Inspection checklist: pull the oil fill cap and look for sludge, because turbo engines punish lazy oil change habits. Check that both turbos spool cleanly with no whining or smoke on a hard pull. Test every single seat motor and massage function, because those modules are pricey. And verify the big sync screen has no dead pixels or lag. Who should skip it? Anyone who keeps vehicles past 250,000 miles and wants zero turbo risk. Twin turbos are still twin turbos, which brings me to a truck with the opposite philosophy entirely. Number 3, Mercedes-Benz GLS 550. Now hold on. I know what you're thinking. A used V8 Mercedes from the guy who preaches reliability? Hear me out, because number 3 is the single biggest luxury per dollar ratio on this entire list, and the risk is more manageable than the internet tells you. The 2017 GLS 550 stickered at $93,850 new. This was Mercedes' flagship SUV, the S-Class on stilts. Today, the nationwide average price for a 2017 GLS 550 is around $21,000, with examples starting near $13,500. That is a haircut of nearly $73,000 on an 8-year-old vehicle. For the person selling it, that's a tragedy. For you, it's the deal of the decade, if and only if you buy the right one. The 4.7-liter twin-turbo M278 V8 is actually one of the stronger engines Mercedes built in that era. A big improvement over the older 5.5 with its timing chain drama. 449 horsepower, effortless everywhere, and mechanically robust when maintained. The 7-speed and 9-speed automatics are solid. The genuine weak points are the things bolted around the engine. The Airmatic air suspension, which will eventually need struts at roughly $1,500 per corner with quality aftermarket parts, and various electronics and seals that demand attention as these trucks age. So here's my rule for the GLS, and I will not budge on it. You only buy one with complete, documented service history, preferably from an independent Mercedes specialist, and you keep $4,000 in a separate account as your ownership insurance policy. Do that, and you're driving a 6-figure flagship for $25,000 all in. My customer who followed this exact playbook bought a 2017 with 78,000 miles for $22,500 2 years ago. He's spent about $2,100 since, mostly on scheduled maintenance and one air strut. He calls it the best car he's ever owned. Skip the service records, buy the cheapest one on Facebook Marketplace, and you deserve what happens next. The Range Rover comparison is where this gets funny. Similar age, similar original price, similar air suspension architecture. But the Mercedes has a vastly better parts supply, a huge independent specialist network, and an engine that doesn't have the Rover V8's reputation. Same luxury, half the headache. Number 2, Cadillac Escalade, 2015 to 2020. Number 2 is the SUV your accountant drives on the weekend and your plumber's boss drives every day, and they're both smarter than the guy in the new Range Rover. A loaded 4th generation Escalade premium luxury, stickered north of $90,000. Today, clean 2017 and 2018 examples sit in the high 20,000s to the mid 30,000s, depending on miles and trim. Here's why a mechanic loves these. Underneath the leather and the chrome, an Escalade is a Chevy Tahoe. That is not an insult. That's the entire point. The 6.2-liter V8 is pushrod simplicity. The transmission is a known quantity, and every part shares a bin with millions of GM trucks. When something does wear out, you're paying Chevrolet parts prices for a Cadillac experience. A water pump job on this truck costs less than a single air strut on a Range Rover. Now, the honest talk, because I don't sell fairy tales. There are 2 things you check on every single one of these. First, the AFM lifters. The cylinder deactivation system on the 6.2 can kill lifters, and if it happens, it's a top-end job north of $2,500. Listen carefully for ticking at idle and check the history for any lifter or camshaft work already done, because a truck that's already had the repair with updated parts is arguably the best buy on the lot. Many owners also install a disabler that keeps the engine in V8 mode, and I quietly approve. Second, the magnetic ride shocks. They ride beautifully and cost real money when they leak, though aftermarket options have gotten much cheaper. Pass those 2 checks and you've got 420 horsepower, an interior the size of a studio apartment, 8,000 plus pounds of towing, and a presence that makes valets sprint. The 2018 and 2019 models with the 10-speed are my sweet spot. Find one owned by an older couple with dealer stamps in the book and drive it for a decade. That's number 2. Number 1 is the SUV I'd bet my reputation on. It's the only vehicle on this list that will genuinely, provably outlast the person buying it, and the used market has finally started figuring it out, which is exactly why you shouldn't wait. If this kind of straight talk is worth something to you, hit subscribe, because I make these videos so you stop learning car lessons the expensive way. Number 1, Lexus LX 570. Number 1 is a Land Cruiser wearing a tuxedo, and it makes every new Range Rover on Earth look like a rental. The LX 570 is mechanically a Toyota Land Cruiser 200 series, the vehicle the United Nations, mining companies, and half the armies on the planet use when failure is not an option. Lexus took that platform, added semi-aniline leather, a Mark Levinson stereo, and a cabin screwed together like a bank vault, and sold it for over $90,000. Here's the current market. Edmunds shows used LX 570 models averaging around $43,000, with deals starting under $28,000 for higher mileage examples. Yes, that's the most expensive truck on this list. It's also the cheapest one to own, and I can prove it. The 5.7-liter 3 URFE V8 is, in my professional opinion, one of the 5 most durable engines ever put in a passenger vehicle. Naturally aspirated, port injected so no carbon buildup on the valves. Timing chain, not a belt. cast with the kind of margins engineers build when the spec sheet says, "must survive Australia." I have personally worked on these engines past 300,000 miles, and I don't mean limping. I mean running like the day they left Japan. The 8-speed automatic behind it is equally overbuilt. Even the full-time four-wheel drive system with its torsen center differential is the stuff of off-road legend. Let me tell you about the LX that converted me. 6 years ago, a physician brought in a 2013 LX 570 with 148,000 miles for a pre-road trip inspection before driving his family across the country. I put it on the lift, expecting the usual list: suspension, undercarriage, fluids, brakes, electronics. I found one marginal sway bar end link. That was it. The truck is at 236,000 miles today, and it has never, not once, left him on the side of the road. His neighbor's newer British luxury SUV has been flatbedded twice in the same period. Now, the honest caveats, because the LX isn't perfect. Fuel economy is around 12 miles per gallon in the city and 18 on the highway, so if gas prices keep you up at night, this isn't your truck. The adaptive height control suspension on these is hydraulic rather than air, which is far more robust than German systems, but you still check for leaks at the accumulators and make sure the truck raises and lowers properly. And routine service can take longer than you'd expect because getting to things means removing skid plates and panels, since this truck is armored underneath like it expects to be shot at. Your oil change costs a bit more in labor. That's the price of a vehicle built like industrial equipment. Buying advice: 2016 and newer gets you the 8-speed and the refreshed interior. But honestly, a well-kept 2013 to 2015 at a lower price is every bit as durable. Find one with dealer service history, verify the timing, cover area is dry, check the third row folds properly, and confirm all 4 corners of the suspension cycle up and down. Then buy it and stop worrying about cars, because you're done. One more thing worth knowing: 2021 was the final year of this V8 generation, and low production numbers have people already calling it a future classic. This is the one vehicle on this list that may actually stop depreciating while you own it. A new Range Rover will lose more value in its first 3 years than an entire clean LX 570 costs today. Sit with that. So there's your list. The Infiniti QX80, a desert-proof patrol in a suit for mid-20s money. The Lincoln Navigator, American first-class seating with F-150 mechanicals. The Mercedes GLS 550, a $94,000 flagship for $21,000 if you respect my service history rule. The Cadillac Escalade, Tahoe bones and boardroom presence. And the Lexus LX 570, the last of the overbuilt V8 land yachts and the best used luxury purchase in America right now. Every one of these delivers more genuine, long-term, keys in your pocket with confidence luxury than a brand new Range Rover at a quarter to a third of the price. Luxury isn't a payment. Luxury is never seeing a tow truck. If you want to know which luxury SUVs I'd never touch with your money, the ones that destroy their owners after 60,000 miles, I made a whole video on exactly that, and it's right here. Like this one if it saved you from a 6-figure mistake. Subscribe for the truth dealerships won't tell you. Drive safe, take care of your car, and it'll take care of you. I'll see you in the next one.